Welcome to another episode of the Journey of You Joycast. Today is another solo episode because Devin is in Africa on a safari and Felicia is bowling her way to the top. So today is Lionsgate, and I'm again capturing this magical energy for you today, the energy of transformation. And so today I want to share a topic with you that has been so vivid in my life, not just in but like I'm observing magic and miracles everywhere, and it's mind blowing. And I want to share the structure with you on how you can tap into magic and miracles, and how I've been doing it, and how I've been coaching my clients to tap into it as well.
Welcome back to another episode of Joy, the Journey of You podcast. We're your hosts, Devin and Chris, and we're here for joy.
This podcast is your permission slip to reconnect to your inherent joy and to embrace it.
Let's fill up the cosmic joy pot together as we dive in to today's episode.
What I want to start out with is a quote by Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. And he said that there are only two ways to live life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other one is as though everything is a miracle, and you get to choose, right? And either you are completely disenchanted with life, or you walk through life thinking, wow, just really in awe. And I just had so many experiences lately where I was allowed to witness magic, right? And I think I've shared before that I just started this new offer, this coaching program where I guide my clients through that void of a career transition, right? And when they come in, they're often really tight and really constricted in what is possible and what isn't, because, career transition often are accompanied by a financial constriction, obviously, right? And that makes the container really tight. So in the first 3 weeks, we just kind of work on creating space and really calming down the nervous system. And what has happened in this container is just so crazy. Like I couldn't have imagined it, right? So I think in the last episode, Alicia already shared a little bit. I don't usually share my clients' names, but if they share it themselves, I guess I can talk about it as well. But it was so funny because when she sent me that little recording of her singing with the ukulele, and I was like, oh my God, like this is so good, right? And she said, yes, my big audacious dream is to be on stage one day. And I was like, wow, that's not a big audacious dream. Like that is your future. It can't be different, right? And then just a week later, she was on stage in New Orleans with a band she's never seen or heard before. And she was singing. Right. And obviously, like this was not a huge stage. She was not on stage with Alicia Keys or something. Right. But her ego wouldn't have allowed that anyway. So it's like, you take steps, but still it's like it's so expansive. And then another client of mine, just through like during the 8 weeks, she had became aware of a grant proposal that was like the universe had baked it for her. Like it was made for her on so many levels. It was a perfect match. And it's been there for, 16, 18, 20 years. Like, like it's a yearly thing. You can apply yearly, but she's never applied to it before. And now, because her nervous system relaxed, because she felt safe again, these opportunities can come in, right? And yeah, another one, her TikTok channel exploded overnight, and she had shared about this practitioner who does something like a frequency healing, and the practitioner thought her website had gotten hacked because she got so many requests in, right? And now they're working together, and it's growing, and it was so unexpected, right? And so there's many things like that, and I myself, just yeah, I've been on a healing journey. I've been on a health journey for the last 1.5 years, and had quite an intense diagnosis I received last year in summer, actually shortly before I met Devin. And Devin kickstarted my healing journey because she gave me a couple of live sessions when we met in person, and then additional ones online that were really magnificent. And I was meant to have a huge surgery, like affecting all of my abdominal organs, like everything. And I followed my truth. And just like I explained in my truth episode, like I tuned into my truth and I followed that. And I had that calm down my nervous system and just followed. And had I needed the surgery, had that been my truth, I know I would have done that as well. And I know I would have been perfectly fine, because if it's my truth, I'm safe. And but it wasn't my truth, and I followed alternative routes. And I just got the result of the MRI last week that I'm clear and I don't need a surgery at all. And I can walk the Camino in September. And, you know, it's just so fascinating to me how easy it can be to access magic like that. And, you could say, like, these are flukes and that's a coincidence, but I don't really believe in coincidences. I don't believe in flukes. I believe in synchronicities. And I believe that when we walk our soul path, that we are surrounded by synchronicities. Like, synchronicities to me are the breadcrumbs of the universe that show that we're on our soul path, that show, like, light up the way, like, the landing strip of an airplane. And so, yeah. But what we need to do in order to make space for magic and miracles is, for one, like I said, to calm down the nervous system, to get out of that fight or flight mode. And secondly, equally important, is to stop doing, and start being, right? And start focusing your energy on something else, and make space for magic to come into your life, right? When we are so busy with everything, micromanaging our lives, then how would there be space for magic? There can't be, right? And so I would love to lead you through a little process where you can tune into how you can make space for magic in your life. And maybe there is a topic where you feel very constricted, very tight. Like, for example, we're looking for a property, or we feel we found one for a property for a group of friends, where we want to start a conscious community with. And in Germany, the legal processes are just very intense and take a lot of time and a lot of paperwork. And like, I felt myself closing up, and I was like, wow, like, we have this property, but to get it, to be able to buy it, it's such a process, right? And I had a coaching session with my coach, thankfully. And they were like, let's just inject some magic into this. And while I was injecting magic into it, during the session, I got a missed call. And with that, an address from somebody who wanted to sell or give away their legal entity, which would have taken us 6 months and a lot of money to create. And they were just wanting to get rid of theirs. And like that, we just saved 6 months of legal work. And I couldn't have made that up. I couldn't have thought of that. But, like, when you open yourself up to magic, when you take your self out of the equation and just say, here, I create space. Use this, put some magic and some sparkles and some miracles in there, and I'll be back to observe. So, yes, that's what I would love for us to do. And again, as always, if you're driving, this is not for you. Don't close your eyes. But if you do have a quiet moment, I invite you to close your eyes and just take a deep breath to ground yourself inside your body. And really become present in the here and now. Maybe you can feel your hands tingling a little bit, your feet tingling a little bit. Wherever you put your attention, the cells light up and say, thank you for your attention. Thank you for seeing me. And as you're present in the here and now, I invite you to, in your imagination, go to a magical landscape. And in this place, imagine everything is possible. There are no laws of physics. There is nothing that has to be in a certain way. Everything can be as it wants to be. And everything here supports you and loves you. And is cheering you on. And as you walk through this magical landscape, you see circles. And imagine that each of these circles represents different aspects of your life, maybe different projects, things you feel you should be doing, your family, your friends, your career. And imagine that one of these circles lights up. And know that if you step into this circle now to give it your energy, all the other circles are being taken care of and things are being moved forward in these other circles while you're in this one circle. And it's a little bit like sourdough bread, where you need to knead the dough at certain times, but then you need to let it rest so it can rise and things can happen with that dough without you doing anything, without you giving it any attention. You're just letting it rise. And so, like that, all the other projects, all the other aspects of your life are allowed to rise and receive magic and be sprinkled. And you step into that one circle and receive what project it is that wants your attention at the moment, or which aspect of life. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your pet, maybe it's your house that wants some TLC, or maybe it's your work. Whatever it is, let it drop in. And become aware of what becomes obvious to you about this. What wants to be done on a soul level? What wants to be experienced? What action is there to take for this specific aspect of life? And maybe there's something else that this aspect of life wants to share with you. Maybe there is something, some information that wants to become obvious to you now. Maybe something wants to be felt or heard or seen about this. Allow yourself to receive it. Beautiful. And now that you have received this and maybe an action step, you can step out of this circle again and know that next time when you come here, most likely another circle will be lit up and would love to have your attention and your energy and your focus, and everything else is being taken care of. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again and come back into the here and now. Maybe rub your hands together to really ground yourself back here and commit to that action step that came through. And yes, see if you can tune into this more often in the coming week and make space, make conscious space for magic. And yeah, I often imagine it like, I'm the CEO of my life, and I hate micromanaging. I hate being micromanaged, and it's just such a waste of energy, such an over controlling mechanism. And you can just let the reins a little loose. And when you do, and then observe what happens, it's really, it's crazy. It's really mind blowing. I would love to hear back from you what happened if you allow that space in your life, if you stop feeling guilty and ashamed for all the things you haven't done or aren't doing, but instead know that because you're not doing it, the bigger picture, the universe can take care of it. And as it does, things can happen that you couldn't have made happen, right? And if you want to dive a little deeper into this, I am offering a spontaneous workshop on August 22nd, I think. It'll be in the show notes, where we really dive deeper into these different aspects of life. And I guide you through a deeper, more intense process. And yeah, allow magic into your life. And I will see you next time. Bye.